Hi, I'm Jax.
And I'm Sassy Jax.
And today we're gonna make a happy birthday greeting card using Altenew stamps. Hi everybody! I took out some stuff. Every time I take out stuff and think I'm gonna use it, I don't. All I know for sure is that I want to use the Altenew Botanical U Stamp and Die set. And I pulled out some Distress Oxide inks, this Stipple Plaid Stamping Up background stamp. I've got my Mini Misty out. I pulled out one of my Stampin' Storage magnet cards that I place my dies on, and I've got my die out, and that is the Botanical U die. And we're just gonna make a card. I'm tempted to do a white on white, like a heat embossing maybe. Ultra thick embossing enamel. I have so much of it. A friend of mine was cleaning out a craft room and she gave me this big bottle, so I'm gonna use it. Before you do any heat embossing, make sure that you've got your card, or wherever you're gonna heat emboss, that you've treated it with powder so that you can get the embossing powder off of the card. I don't think it needs to be perfect, so I'm not worried if I don't get a perfect image. I'm just gonna put some pressure on that, and I'm just gonna put this on here, and then I'm gonna shake it around. And what I like to do with mine is I like to turn it around and flick it like a dummy because it just went all over everything. But I do like to do that because I don't want excess on there if I don't need it. I'm not gonna heat it right now. I'm gonna set it to the side. This is such sticky ink, and you can do heat embossing with any ink as long as it stays wet for a while, but Versamark is way better. Like if you wanted to put a color ink underneath this clear, you could definitely do that.
The anticipation is killing me.
Yep, it's definitely on there. And if you just wanted a little embossing powder on there, you could definitely do that if you wanted a different kind of look. But in this instance, I do want it to be covered. I'm just using a scrap paper to catch the embossing powder. And this embossing powder is much larger than normal embossing powder. Very large chunks. It works though. You do get a really nice melt when you heat it, so I don't mind using. Really need a lot of sticky on there to hold those bigger chunks. So I'm making sure that this is definitely covered. Look at that, it's so beautiful. Look at the glitziness. This is what it looks like before you heat emboss it. I just put stamp cleaner directly on the stamp, pull off that sticky. And another thing I do is I do not have any embossing powder on my desk when I'm heating. And how do I clean them up? Finally, I will pull out some disinfectant wipes. Not because this needs to be disinfected, but because they're wet. I don't have my baby wipes on me right now. My baby wipes aren't as wet as this. And you know, there are some really weird viruses flying around.
Yeah, that's what they say.
So this isn't gonna hurt anybody.
And it'll make sure that you guys don't get the virus either.
Don't touch this stuff right after you heat emboss it. It's excruciatingly hot.
So be careful.
Thing in the back here that it kind of tells you. I'm not really good at layering stamps, but I thought I would try my hand on it because they look so pretty. Okay, so you do the light green first. Oh yeah. I picked old paper for this, the color old paper. I love my Mini Misty. It allows me to be able to double stamp something multiple times, and it allows me to do this layering stuff. So now I'm just gonna whip that card around so I can do another one. Just seems like an awful lot of stamping if you had to do this by hand. I don't think I would do it. In fact, I didn't even buy these kind of stamps for 3 years because I was like, why would I want to spend all that time on just one thing? And we're gonna use pine needles. That's not bad. Now we're moving on to the third of the fourth colors. And for that color I see something I didn't see before. Looks like this red right here are the ones that overlap. So you kind of know where to put them. Yeah, I didn't know that. That makes sense. I'm going to use shaded lilac for the next thing. Layering stamps. Who knew it'd be this hard? They're very fancy. I guess I'm kind of looking for the open spots. You know, there are some open spots. We're gonna try it. All right, here's our beautiful purplage. Oh, that's pretty. I'm not sure if I did it right, but I guess we'll find out. So basically, I like the end results of these stamps, but I think they're tedious. The last group of stamps, the center petals within the flowers. So that one's a little easier to line up. What I've come to the conclusion of is I absolutely cannot stand this pink. I've got to get a different color. Let's try Seedless Preserves. That's much better. So far, I'm really enjoying the results of this. I took out my Sisik's Big Kick, and I've used these plates like 3 or 4 times now, maybe more than 3 or 4 times. I used the back too. And look at, they're already starting to bow. I waited for everything to dry. I die cut my pieces. Die cutting is not my favorite thing, but I like the results of it. But here's my thoughts on this die. Take it for what it's worth. I mean, I'm not dissing Altenew because I love Altenew. But here's what I don't like about these kind of dies. It's a layering stamp, so I didn't get it aligned on a lot of the stamps, and I'm not sure why, because I mean, you saw how I did it. I don't know how it got messed up. Because I didn't align them right on every single one, every single die cut is completely different. It looks like I've cut off some of the things. So that part I don't like. I wish that it wouldn't be separated like this, I guess. I think I would have liked it better had it been just one big U. Well, I'm back. I just figured I'd put it together and show you what I came up with because there was a lot of, it wasn't good. You saw me emboss the card, and then I cut that down, wrapped white string around it, put some burlap paper down, placed that on top, and then did the So Grateful for You, Happy Birthday, I Adore You, Happy Anniversary, Just for You, Happy Birthday, and You Amaze Me. Happy Anniversary. The sentiments for the inside were taken from the My Favorite Things Essential Sentiments stamp set. And then, of course, this was the Altenew Botanical U stamp and die set. I definitely was very frustrated during this card session. I think that was more of a creative block than anything. And I've never really made white on white type of cards. So this is different for me. I really wanted to put some color, like either on the card base or in the grooves of the embossed portion, but I didn't. I'm going to leave it as is and not mess with it. This is so hard for me.
You can do it.
Thank you. Hopefully you agree with my decision to stop. What are your thoughts? Because I really struggled with this one. I look forward to hearing what you think. Thanks for tagging along. Until next time, love your guts. Bye. If you want to see what else I create on this channel,
Like acrylic paintings, greeting cards, stamping, die cutting, and recycled art, furniture, all kinds of things.
consider subscribing because I'd love to have you as a viewer.